like summer for the last month, I think. So, how y'all doing today? Good to see everybody today out here this afternoon. It's probably around, I don't know what time is it, 3 o'clock here, 3:15, my time on the East Coast here. Good to see everybody out here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my settings here. I have to make sure that I see everything like in real time rather than delay time. And so, hey, good to see everybody today. God bless you today. Thank you for joining me again for a little Lifecast. This will be my 80th episode. Man, time flies when you're having fun. It's like I started 3 months ago. I've been doing it 6 days a week. And today's topic, I'm trying to figure out a good message today. I'm seeking guys that, Lord, what do you want to share? I was going to share something about false prophets because I think there's a lot of false prophets out there that you can trust. We're not supposed to be judging necessarily because judge not lest you be judged. I think Matthew 7 is probably one of the most powerful chapters in the Bible. When Jesus is talking about if any man asks the Father for bread, will he think will give him a stone? Those kind of verses, like in Matthew 7:7. Then he goes on, not judging anybody, not supposed to judge anybody. Take the thorn out, they think out of the plank out of your own eye first. Then it talks about, not everybody says, Lord, Lord shall enter the kingdom of God, but he that does the will of the Father. And many will say in my name, Lord, we were doing great things. We were prophesying your name. We're casting out demons, performing miracles. And Jesus said, depart from me, I never knew you. So Matthew 7 is probably one of the probably the most, impactful chapters in the Bible. For me, it is anyway. I don't know about you. But yeah, it's like, it starts out by talking about, it talks about judging first, but then it goes right on to trusting God that he's going to supply your need. Because it just says right there, if any man asks for bread, your Father give him some. So the hardest thing to me is trusting. The hardest thing in the world, as far as a relationship with God, is trusting. It's hard to trust anyway. Like people. You have a hard time trusting is the title of the message today. Yeah, especially God. I think it's the hardest thing for people, especially like I have family members who have a hard time trusting, like have some female members have a hard time trusting guys. They've been hurt, and when you've been hurt, it's hard to trust anybody. And so it's hard to trust anybody again, and especially if you've been hurt, damaged a few times. And so that's to me is like, one family member we were talking on Father's Day about it, and I said, you got to get the whole thing about trusting what somebody says. If they're trying to explain to you, they're giving you an excuse, and you're trying to figure out if it's a lie or not. And so I said, well, let me pray about it. So I prayed about it. I said, no, he's telling the truth. And so because the Holy Spirit, it's all about having the Holy Spirit in your life and the Spirit bearing witness. The witness in my spirit was that he was telling the truth. And so you have to have that. Otherwise, you're just guessing. You're paranoid because you've been hurt so many times before. You're just guessing whether or not, somebody's telling the truth or not. And isn't that true in relationships? Marriages. You trusting that this person's being, is honest. Is an honest person and telling the truth at all times, or is he lying to you? Is somebody lying to you about their relationship with you? They say they love you, but did they really love you? The proof's in the pudding. People say they appreciate you, like, man, I appreciate you so much, and I really care about you a lot, but then all of a sudden something happens where, oh my gosh, man, it's like, what? I trusted you, to treat me, with integrity, and so you get hurt, and so it's like, oh, you're damaged goods for a while. Then you have to ask God to heal you and heal your relationship with that person, and then you got to trust all over again that God's going to, bring you the right people in your life that you can trust. And so it comes down to that, and you got to trust God in that area as far as relationships go. If you trust, obviously the most famous, word about trust, in Proverbs 3 verse 5, where it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not to your own understanding, acknowledge him in all your ways, and he will direct your paths. Okay. And I go back to my whole conversation about faith and trust. In the Old Testament, the word faith is only used twice, and so and one of the places it's showed is in that place where it talks. It was I can't remember what word it was, but it was talking about the division. Habakkuk. Yeah, the second chapter where it talks about, hey, I'm going to give you a vision. It's going to come to pass. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for the vision. It'll come to pass. And because there's a time element to it. There was a trusting element to it. You got to wait for the timing. Man, there's no time in heaven, but there sure is a lot of time here on earth. From one aspect, there's hardly any time because time goes so fast. It's a blink of an eye, you're gone. Blink of an eye, and then you're gone. But in another aspect, if you're waiting for something, it seems like it takes forever. Like if you're like 12 years old and you can't wait to be 21, man, it seems like it takes forever. And when you're older, you're trusting God for something, and it seems like it takes forever. But there's a testing process. There's a testing process, and it's a temptation actually. In Luke, where it talks about the sowing of the seed, right? Sowing the seed of the word. The farmer throwing the seed out there, and the seed being the word of God. That was the parable Jesus was talking about. And the first one, and the first soil that was sown on, it was sown on shallow ground where the meat was received in the heart. Instead of it received in the heart, but the devil came and took out what was sown in the heart. so it bore no fruit. And so, and Jesus said, unless you be saved, So that's definitely talking about the word of salvation there, because he said, unless you be saved. So anyway, that it's the trusting, trusting in a lot of people. And let me just go back to this. It goes back to the second soil. The second soil, first soil was the one that was shallow ground the devil took. Second soil was the time of testing. And the King James is the time of testing, it says. When the time of testing came, they didn't pass, and so that word was taken out, gone, because they didn't pass the test. I think it's in the other versions is when temptation comes. In one version it says it's when the testing comes. The other version when the temptation comes. And so it's kind of similar in an aspect, but really the testing at the King James where it says testing, I think it tells you that sometimes you're being tried in of the word that's being sown in your heart of your relationship with God, and so in the time of testing, you just don't pass the test and you give up. So if you're trusting, especially if you're trusting God for something, and you're trying to believe for a miracle or something, or trusting God for finances or whatever, or relationship, and you're trusting Him, and you hear, in the time of test, God gives you a promise, and you kind of wait for it to happen. You're waiting for it to happen, and you're waiting for it to happen, and you wait for it, and it doesn't happen. So pretty soon you just start giving up because you feel like, well, it seems like the time is passing. It's like, come on, how much time you want me to wait, Lord? How much time do you want me to wait? You feel like giving up, because in the time of testing, you feel like it's just not going to happen, and God doesn't care about anything you're talking about. He doesn't care about anything you're trying to believe for. And so let me see if anybody's on here. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything here. Let's see, go back to here. See if anybody's on here. So live. I'll make sure I'm not missing anything here. So here I am. And I don't know if anybody's going to be on here today, but if anybody's listening, thank you for joining me again. I'll just check the chat every now and then to see if anybody's on here. But the time of testing, boy, I'll tell you what, that can be really, especially if you're waiting for finances. Oh my gosh, that could seem like forever. And you're like saying, what am I going to do now if God doesn't come through? There's a time of testing. Is it just a trial of your faith, the testing of your faith? And so you're trying to figure it out. You figure it out. Maybe God is not really answering the prayer. Maybe He doesn't really care about what you're saying about. Maybe you feel like you're not worthy enough. Maybe you feel like it's taking too long. So it can't be God because you got to give you a word about something. It can't be God if it's taking too long. And so there's a testing period, a trusting period. So when you're a child being raised, right? You're trusting your parents to take care of you. You don't care about anything. You're just a child. Hey, man, my God, my parents are taking care of me, man. Wow. I'm trusted for them to take care of me, and feed me, give me a place to eat, give me something to, wear, room to sleep in, and supply all your needs, right? You're trusting your parents. Well, that's the kind of trust we're supposed to have, childlike faith. Childlike faith when you're trusting, when you get to be an adult, you're supposed to still have childlike faith rather than going out and supplying your own needs and taking care of yourself. You have a hard time trusting God's going to do what, he'll supply your needs. I think, for those who, especially the ministers of the gospel, you're trusting that God's going to take care of you, I heard from on my pastor this week. He was talking about the ministries. I think, only 10% of ministries that start out, last. That's like 90% of them don't last. That's probably because, God didn't supply their need, or maybe God didn't, wasn't in it to begin with. So it's hard to know sometimes, to be just ask God, what do you have? And what do I have available? What do you want me to do, with the talent that I have? What kind of gift do you want me to do for my needs to be supplied? Because everybody's wanting their needs to be supplied, right? I think that's the bottom line. The bottom line, you want your needs to supply. And you're trying to get God to trust you. There's several words, about it, and feed. And we know, God supplies all your needs according to His riches and glory. Paul spoke that out, and we also know, Jesus said, seek first the kingdom and all His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. In Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom and all His righteousness, then all these things shall be added. So that's at the end of chapter 6. But at the beginning of chapter 7, he says, hey, if you ask anybody ask for bread, will He give them stuff? So it's basically close parallel there, right, when he's talking about all your needs being met. And so, so sometimes it's just a huge trust involved as far as being able to wait long enough rather than just jump the gun and start doing something, getting a loan or whatever, or marrying somebody you probably shouldn't marry just because you're lonely. That's happened to me many times. I didn't wait long enough. That's I have failed that test many times. Also, I won't say many times. I'll say several times. I failed that test of waiting long enough for the right person. I jumped the gun. The first person that came along there, they cared about you. You think, hey, because they care about you, they, maybe that's the one I'm supposed to be with. But you have no discernment at all, especially if you're young in the Lord. If you just came to know the Lord, or you have a really shallow relationship with the Lord, you really don't know Him. You don't know His voice. You're thinking this guy cares about me that much. They're putting on a show for me. They're making themselves like, going berserk. Thinking, I'm a special person in the world. So this guy's gonna do anything for me. So you just trust that person to be the right one. Then all of a sudden, when the testing came, the trials came, like that person was like, wasn't the person I thought it would be. And then, of course, when you come to know the Lord, if that person doesn't know the Lord, then you're really in a bind. Then you're like unequally yoked, and you're realizing it. I made a huge mistake because I didn't wait on the Lord. I didn't wait on the Lord long enough. And so I jumped the gun. I should have had a relationship with God first, so I can get discernment. And that's the bottom line as far as trusting goes. For me, I was able to tell, my family member that, the discernment was this person telling the truth or not, and so this Spirit of God says yes. And so you have to be able to trust that voice, because otherwise relationships can be a mess. If you're trying to figure out this is the right person, whether you can trust him or not, you have to ask God. And that's God will show you. I think God can show you who you're supposed to be with. I should have known that a long time ago, but I didn't. So I'm learning from experience now. You've got to get close enough to God. Your relationship has to be strong enough in God so you can get that discernment whether that's the person or not. And so that is something that many people have failed that test. And so, I think I was reading something. I think we were talking about this the other day, that I think at least 20%, I think, of marriages in this country, I'm a believer marries an unbeliever. That's like, I think at least 20%, maybe 25% of people that get married, they marry an unbeliever. That's got to be a huge mistake. That's when you didn't trust God from the beginning. And so your trust was in the wrong. Your trust was in a person rather than God. You don't want to be a trust. You don't want to be trusting a person rather than God. It's like being hooked up with a false prophet. Who's out there trying to guide you, and you thinking they're of the Lord when they're not. It's like one of the things I want to talk about this week was these false prophets that are out there who's saying they can give you all this, and they show you all these things, and they're already rich, and they're trying to make you spend all your money that you don't have to learn how to do what they do, and have to be a shyster, and teach you and train you how to scam other people. No, we don't want to be scammers, and so I don't trust scammers anymore. I've trusted them before, and I've learned from experience. These guys just out to make a buck, and they're already millionaires already. So, they, if it was me, if I was a millionaire, I just, here, this is how you do it for free. I'm not gonna just charge anybody. Yeah, it's ridiculous. You're trying to make more money, and you're scamming people that are poor. And it's like, come on, man. Those are false prophets, and so beware of the false prophets out there. I'm not gonna name names here, but anybody who's listening to me probably knows some of the ones that I've known. And so it's important that we learn to trust God, and so get discernment, and that we just not to be tempted by just anybody, being hooked up with just anybody. For some reason we're trusting, mainly because we want it so bad that we're willing to believe anything. We're so gullible. We want something so bad. We want what they have, and so we're going to be trusting them, even though they're shysters themselves. And so it's important to learn how to trust. Anybody on here? I don't see anybody. I see people listening. Nobody's making comments yet. But But my thing today is, do you have a hard time trusting, especially God? And so that's hard. I think to me that's the hardest thing. I've spent my whole life. Seems like I'm wasting most of my life on not trusting, not waiting long enough, jumping the gun, being an Abraham and Sarah going out to impregnate a slave girl to get that, to think that the promise was going to come through that, rather than it's coming through the way God wanted to give it to them, rather than do it themselves. And so we know there's there's probably more people that fall to that trick than that actually wait and get the promise. And so, and if you give up and you just complain in the wilderness, you're going to end up like the Israelites. You're not getting anything. You're just going to die in the wilderness. Your life will be just a mess. And even though you may have some wealth, you're just going to die in the wilderness. And that's your life. It's going to end up there. For believers, we're supposed to be waiting on God for some promises that He wants to give us, and to have whatever you're believing for that's of Him, and that's going to be blessed of Him. And what you're doing is blessed of Him. You want to make sure His blessing is on it, and His favor is on you, and so where you're in a place where the blessings flow like rain from above, and so you're constantly being blessed. Not just a trickle every now and then. So I throw a nugget out there saying, oh yeah, I still care about you, but you didn't do this. So I'm just going to show you, you could have this, but because you didn't, you're only going to get a little trickle instead of the full thing, instead of the full blessing. And so, it's very important to wait and trust. It's hard though. It's hard, I'm telling you right now, because the pressure is on you. Say if it's a financial pressure, is on you. It's, oh man, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out here. My flesh is like freaking out. I got to do something. And so, but your spirit knows that deep inside you have peace, that God's going to supply it. I mean, sometimes it's hard to find a peace. It's not easy, and you got to pray. You got to keep praying. So, Lord, am I doing the right thing? Am I just trusting you? And your timing is perfect. And so He knows the right timing, obviously, for whatever it is. I mean, we just have to learn how to trust. And there's a test. And I think that same, the same testing that Jesus was talking about the one who the word was sown in their hearts. And the time of testing came, and they failed the test, and so they fell by the wayside, and they gave up. They gave up trusting. They went out and did their own thing and supplied their own need. So. Yeah, this is a perfect way. It's God's way, even though it seems like it's taking too long and the pressure is on because the things aren't being the prayer doesn't seem like it's ain't being answered, and the needs aren't being met when you think it should be met. And so there's that time of testing for sure. So yeah, that's the nuts and bolts of it today, as far as that goes. As far as the message He's put in my heart to share. Um, Again, I go back to the false prophets who prophesy these things about, hey, you give to my ministry, I'm going to make sure you're blessed, make sure you're going to get, your needs met. I think we're talking about, as far as the ones that I'm talking about, are the ones that, offer these special deals, and they're going to show you how to get your music out there. You give them all these thousands of dollars, like $5,000, $6,000. You put it on your credit card. I mean, meanwhile, you're in debt, to this guy, and so you're paying interest on the loan or the credit card, and it's like it doesn't end up like you thought it should. They had the map all for you to map that to prosper and have it all figured out. And meanwhile, it's just, maybe it happened for them when they were doing it, but I still believe that if God is gifted you to do something, especially like in music, if you're called to do it full time, God's going to bless it. He's going to bless it, and He's going to anoint it, and He's going to supply the need. If it's not, it's just going to, if it's just a hobby, some people are called to do it full time. Some people are not. It's just like we were talking about, churches that are right, ministries that start out, only 10% of those who start out end up, because most of them, 90% of them weren't supposed to be done to begin with. If God's in it, He'll bless it. And so, so that's what I'm trusting God for right now, as far as in my music goes and stuff like that. I'm just trusting God. And He's shown me some ways that you can do it without having to pay a fortune. I've spent a lot of money in the last 3 or 4 years investing in music, getting my songs recorded. Very expensive. Music videos, very expensive. And so, I spent a lot of money doing it. And not that I shouldn't do it, but I found a different way of doing it that I didn't need to get, because you're trying to get views on your songs, to make a profit, whether it's through your, your producer, or whether it's through, YouTube, or whether it's through, a number of ways you can get your money, as far as the money that you're invested in it. Of course, the most important thing is spiritual. And we know that. It's not about making money necessarily, but it is. I mean, if you put that much into it, you expect a return on your investment. I think if it's of God, you will, reap a reward. But again, I was sharing this recently. I had given up for about almost a year of putting any music out there, even though I recorded like, I have 8 songs that are just ready to be released, right? And but I just put it on ice for a year. I recorded something like 14 months ago. I think it was April of last year. And I put it on ice because I felt like, I needed to take a break from it to see, if God's really in this or not. And I spent like a year just learning my songs really well, just to have something to do, and just trusting God. Hey, if this is of you, I know you're going to provide a way. So 3 months ago, he had me go back on social media again and just share my songs without spending any money. Just share my songs, singing in front of my phone in the hallway over here, because it has good acoustics. And I've got a lot of views. I put one song I like to sing, and the Mercy of Me song, I Can Only Imagine. And I have like 5,900 views, just been putting it out there on social media, especially on X. And that's more than I had. That's twice as much as I had of any of the last few songs I put out there on YouTube. And so I think people like to see you face, and just you and the song itself. And so, and some of the songs I did have recorded, and just put them out there again. And like we have one song I just put out there the last couple of weeks. Angie's song there, the Shining Star song, I'll put that on next too. And it's almost doubles the amount of views that I had initially 3 years ago. And so I think we had, like, when I first started a couple weeks ago, it peaked 3 years ago at like 3,400 views, 3,400 views. And so now it has over 6,000 views. just from not spending any money, just putting it out there, spending the time to put it out there. And so there's a way of doing it that you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. I mean, it's nice to have quality stuff to put out there, obviously. But if it's of God, I believe God's going to bless it. And so that's what I'm trusting is, not to trust in necessarily what everybody else says. You got to spend your money. You got to sell ads. No, you don't. If it's of God, I don't think you have to. If it's of God, I don't think you have to sell ads. I think if you just trust God, if He's in it, then you're gonna, and it's of you, and then it's of Him. If it's not, it's gonna fail. And so, anyway, see if anybody else. I don't see anybody else on here. All right, so there you go. Last couple of days, I've been praying about. I did some. I recorded some stuff 15 years ago. I think it's 2011. I was looking back at some of my older videos. I was just singing in front of my phone and just using my amp, my guitar, my amp, and just sitting in my living room. And there's this a couple songs I had. I was messing around because I learned how to play this type of playing where you can just jam on the guitar by changing the tuning on it, and it makes it easier to play on acoustic guitar. And there's one song called Joy Jam. It's like a 7-minute Joy Jam video that I put out, and I was just jamming, and it sounds so good. I was like, man, you got to show me something a long time ago that sounds amazing with this open tuning and delay on the guitar, and so I just put it out there to share because I think God showed me a unique way to play. I had kind of forgot about it because the industry wants songs, and so it has to be like a 3 or 4 minute song, chorus, verses, bridge, all that. So there's a structure that the industry wants, and so I've been doing that for the last 3 or 4 years. But there's something in this open tuning thing that's really unique that I think God wants to have me do some stuff with. It's hard to play it on here because I can't hear myself. I have to be able to hear it. I can't turn my amp up here to share it here unless I was doing it. Unless somebody else was sharing it from their Zoom. I know I can do it from there. Then I can hear it. But I can't do it from here. Otherwise, I'd share it here. But when I'm playing it, I can hear. I know it can be heard as far as the songs I'm playing, the delay on it and all that. It makes it sound like I'm up in heavenly places. I'm here, like you see how I am here. I'm like seated in heavenly places in Christ Jesus. It makes it soar, the soaring sound. It's the kind of sound I really like to hear, when I'm playing. Kind of music I used to like to listen to back in the day. And so, there's something really cool about that. I'll share some songs, and you can hear probably the difference of my playing because I wanted to, because it's really hard to play, here on a computer and get the sound the way you want it to sound. It has the guitar is limited on how rich it can sound on here. It sounds better here in my hallway because it has high ceilings and acoustic sound. So the guitar sounds real rich, and my vocals are kind of like have a reverb on it because it's high ceilings. It kind of has a cool sound to it. But here I don't have that, so it's hard to share that. Although I do have an amp here that has like a delay on it and a reverb thing on it. And so it can make it sound, some God showed me a long time ago how to play. It has a very unique sound. But anyway, trusting God is the name of the game, and trusting is the hardest thing because it takes time. Some things just take time, and your flesh gets weak, and it gets impatient. Flesh wants it right now. It's like you're like a child screaming, "I want it now, Daddy! Daddy, I want it now. Come on now. Bring it on, Daddy. Come on now. I'm waiting, Daddy. I'm waiting for you to supply, Lord. I'm just waiting. Come on, Daddy. Come on." Like a little child screaming. Your flesh is screaming. And your spirit goes, man, I got to pray through this. And so, that's what you're going. That's the battle. That's the testing to see if you're going to pass the test. So that, we're all going through that. Everybody has a test to pass. I think those who are rich in faith, who've done a lot in the kingdom, they've learned how to pass those tests. I mean, they've been through those battles, and you can tell because they got fruit. They got fruit because they passed the test. And so you hear the testimonies out there. There's many of them out there, have that God's blessed. You can tell they've been blessed of God, because they've done the right thing, whether it was because they trusted long enough, they were asked to give something, a sacrifice, an offering, or whatever it was. And so you want to do all those things. You want to make sure you're like doing everything you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be tithing. You're supposed to be loving. You're supposed to be giving. You're supposed to be, bearing fruit, the kingdom, your character changing, and all that. But there's still a testing, even while you're going through that. And so, when we want to be changed. And I think that's part of the process of waiting, is that God's changing into see if you can handle the money He's going to give you, or you can handle the person you're supposed to be with. So it's all about that. Well, I'll share some songs here. What song should I share? Oh yeah, I'll share. That's a song. I wrote a song in the 90s called Just a Matter of Time. Just a matter of time. Before you pass the test. Well, I don't need a word. I don't need a fret. This life hadn't gotten to me just yet. I just gotta hold on. I just gotta be strong until I finally get the chance to really move on. Moving on with my life, moving on with the wind. It's just a matter of time before it blows my way. It's just a matter of time before the wind starts blowing. Time before the dawn breaks with a brand new day. It's just a matter of time before I wake up in the morning with a brand new song. It's just a matter of time before it blows my way. Well, I know sometimes I struggle. Sometimes I lose my grip of all the things I thought I once had been. I know there's got to be a reason. I know it's just one more task. 'Cause everything is really working out for the best. I know it's the best thing for me. Best for now until I see the wind starts blowing my way again. It's just a matter of time before the wind starts blowing my way. It's just a matter of time before the dawn breaks with a brand new day. It's just a matter of time before I wake up in the morning with a brand new song. It's just a matter of time before I live again. It's just a matter of time before I live again. It's just a matter of time before I live again. It's just a matter of time before I live again. Jump start, get out there ahead of your game because it's against you. Everything pressures against you. It's just a matter of time before the wind starts blowing your way, and you get your back, and you get to where you need to go to.
place I know you know best. To the place I know you know best. Take me to the place of promise, Lord. To the promise of your rest, Lord. Take me to the place where I can rest, Lord. To the place where I can rest, Lord. Oh my God, oh serve me, do you want me to serve you? Oh my God, oh serve me with my heart and my soul. Oh my God, I will serve you with my brothers and sisters, with the ones you joined me to, with the ones you joined me to. Take us to the place of promise, to the promise of your rest, Lord. Take us to the place where we can rest, Lord. To the place where we can rest, Lord. Lord, you own everything we have, that you bless us with. You supply the need we have as we follow you. Take us to the place of promise, to the promise of your rest, Lord. Take us to the place where we can rest, Lord. To the place where we can rest. To the place where we can rest, Lord. This is the place, Lord. Rest most. Was past the test. Never the promise that God wants us to be. The promise to give you. You gotta pass the test first. You gotta face the trial. Face the temptation. Pass the temptation. Pass the test. Beat the temptation. Toss them into the sea. I can conquer the giants of fear attacking me. I can change my destiny as you're changing me. Okay. I can conquer fear, right? As you're changing me. I'm changing me. It's like I'm trust the person. That's how I was thinking. Toss them in the sea. I can conquer the giants of fear attacking me. I can change my destiny as you're changing me. Oh, you own it again. can conquer the mountains, toss them into the sea. I can conquer the giants of fear attacking me. I can change my destiny, and you'll change me. Oh, you give me faith to know where you want me to go. So I put my trust in you. Tell me what to do next. Even though I may not understand, yeah, I know you pretty well. I can conquer them, toss them into the sea. I can conquer the giants of fear attacking me. I can change my destiny as you're changing, changing me, Lord. That's what it's all about. It's all about God changing us. Trusting you. The place of testing. He's changing us along the way.
so many times. All things are possible. They will believe. If you believe, you know, tap your heart. Confess something, say something you not in your heart, or that will bring it to pass. It's all out there. Obviously, all things are possible. So it doesn't happen right away. It's tough trusting. So, Jesus already put it out there. You can do anything in my name. I'll do it. All things are possible. All things are possible. Say that. All things are possible. All things are possible. You believe. What do you believe for? What are you trusting God for? Like I said, the Old Testament is more trust. Which is New Testament's faith. It's really about trusting. According to your faith, according to your trust. It's according to your faith, let it be unto according to your trust. According to your trust, let it be unto. I use that word. It's, instead of using faith, according to your trust, let it be unto you. Because that's what the word was used in the Old Testament. It's trusting God. Having faith in God is trusting God. According to your faith, according to your trust, let it be unto you. Because he's able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all we ask or think. Exceedingly, abundantly, above all we ask or think. According to your word, Lord, according to your power, according to your strength in your word, Lord. You're able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all we ask or think. Exceedingly, abundantly, above all we ask.